I can explain. Okay, so usually before I go to conventions or do things over the weekend or whatever like that where I know it's going to conflict with my Sunday stories, I film them before the weekend comes. But this time I was, cluttered with things to do and people coming and people leaving and other shit like that. So I unfortunately did not prepare like I usually do. My bad. But other than that, I'm prepared to hopefully upload it and get this done today, Monday. And if it carries over into Tuesday, you can have permission to kill me. Anyways, so this Sunday, Monday, whatever, we're going to talk about the con experience I just had at Katsucon. Now, this was my first Katsucon. People like Lee and other people that I've known have been there prior, maybe 1 year or 2 years or anything like that. They definitely all have one thing in common to say about it, that it is hella hectic. There's a lot of shit going on. Apparently, the last Katsucon or the Katsucon before that, I'm not sure, was really bad. Holes in the walls, people fucking with the fountains, the rave getting shut down for like drugs and stuff like that. So apparently it was crazy, and they were threatening to cancel Katsucon like for good. So I would never have been able to go. This year when I went, however, was not like I was, I guess, briefed to expect, like how I was prepared to see. It was much tamer, and that could be because they threatened to shut it down, because it was nothing like it was described. There were no holes in the walls, from what I heard, because we missed the rave because of like stuff going on, but from what I heard, the rave was completely fine. The bowl was excellent, but I'm gonna go over that. Thursday comes, and we get Danny Blake from the airport. I'm probably gonna upload a Katsucon vlog where you're gonna see all that. But so then Thursday night, me, Alyssa, and him, and we all sleep over at my house. And then morning comes, and we have to get on a public transit train to go to Jersey so that we can get picked up by other friends so that we could drive all the way to Maryland, because they didn't want to cross into New York and all stuff like that. So we wake up, get all this stuff together. We have a lot of bags. Like I think Danny only has 2. I had maybe 3 bags. I don't know. Lee had the most, but it was like small bags, whereas mine were just 3 big ones. So then we carried all that shit with a struggle onto a regular like Manhattan train, and then we got onto the fancy trains to get to Jersey, and that was crazy enough. And then we waited for like an hour or so at Dunkin' Donuts for our friends to finally show up. So then we got in the car and we drove up to Jersey, and it was taking a while because of like a lot of stops and traffic and stuff. And keep in mind that this was Thursday because Danny had come on Wednesday and slept over, because our friends wanted to go to the con on Thursday, which is the day earlier, which I'm grateful for, because by the time we finally got there, it was like really late. Like I'm not sure exactly what time, but I'd like to say around 8, 9, 10, something like that. So we got there that late, and we pulled all the bags into the hotel because it was the Gaylord, and we were waiting by check-in desks, by where the chairs and stuff were. And they went up to, book the room. I mean, not book the room, but like check into the room. And so we waited. So a lot of cosplayers passing by, and we were dressed in I was Duncan from Total Drama, Lee was Courtney from Total Drama, and Danny was Cosmo from For That Parents. And we didn't really get to show off those cosplays as much as I would have liked, considering we got there so late. But there were some people that came out to us and recognized us as our characters and as who we actually were for pictures and shit like that. So that was pretty cool, despite how like late we showed up. But then a problem happened with the room, because I guess our friend didn't know that you need to pay up front for the room. So she had to wait for other people to come and put in their money. So we waited, and I think we waited there with those bags for like an hour, until finally we were like, can you watch the bags, because we want to go check in like our tickets to get our tickets. And they were like, okay. So me and Danny and Lee went to go to the ticket line. And at first we went to this little short line because we thought that was registration. And they were like, oh no, pre-reg is around the corner. And we go around the corner, and there's huge line. Like, those huge, like, big empty rooms that you'll see at any convention. And for those of you who don't go to conventions, just picture a huge, like, plain empty ballroom. or something. That's basically the extent of it. And it wasn't just a straight line. Like if it was just a straight line, I could deal with that. But it was like, you know, turns and twists and stuff and turning around because the line was so big. We waited on that pre-reg line for approximately 2.5 hours, I would say. It was a really long time. It was so long that I was starting to get hungry and thirsty and anxious, and Lee ran to go get like a snack or a drink or something like that, and I was worried that they wouldn't let them back in because pre-reg was supposed to close after 10 on Thursday, but I guess because there was so many people, they didn't want to deal with it all the next day, so they just allowed it. And they did get back in, and they brought like beef jerky and drinks and stuff. And I think if anybody was in my not my live stream, Danny's live stream on Musical.ly, when they saw us singing online, how anxious we were, and how I kept singing Heather's lyrics, because when I'm anxious, I sing. It's kind of something I do. But anyway, if we finally got our passes, and we were able to go back in the con, but because it spent so much time, and it was like 11 o'clock at this point, we really didn't have, you know, much time to do anything. We went back to the bags and they were still there. The room still wasn't checked into because we were waiting on somebody. So our bags were just all in the center of like the check-in, like the lobby, for a very long time. Like I would say from the extent of 8 or 9ish to like maybe 1 in the morning. Like that was the extent. But we did walk around a little bit and we did take some like pictures, because I definitely wanted some pictures of my cosplay. I didn't want to just go straight up to the room and, you know, take everything off. Even though I was really excited to take everything off because that wig was really hurting my head in the car ride over. And the reason I didn't take it off in the car ride over is because I knew I wouldn't be able to perfectly style it back on once I got to the con. So I powered through. And that's what I always do for the ride there to a con. But anyway, so we finally got into the Gaylord room and we went upstairs. And everything was like perfectly fine, you know. As soon as we got up there, we wanted to go to sleep, and we started playing Cards Against Humanity. Danny fell asleep, and then finally I was getting tired. I was like, let's just go and to sleep. Then Friday hits, and we woke up early, dressed in our Bombshell, Harley, and Ivy stuff. The body paint was a real bitch to put on. Like I know I only did my face, but Lee did like their entire body of green. I did my face white. And we went down and, you know, some drama did go on between friends that I'm not exactly going to go into because it's kind of like, it happened. You know, even if you were watching this, it happened, but I'm not, you know, I'm not like a talk about it, think about it, anything like that. There's nothing I can do to undo, you know, drama. I'm just hoping, and this goes for the same with any other friend that I've ever had drama with, like, even if it carries on to this day, I'm hoping that one misunderstanding or one argument or one piece of drama or anything like that doesn't affect the entire friendship. I'm hoping that one thing like that wouldn't like screw over like how I think of you, how you think of me, anything like that. Drama does happen between friends. And I'm not going to say which friends like this was going on with, because I did hang out with a lot of people during the duration of the weekend. So if you think you know who it is, you're probably wrong. But yeah, there was drama on friends that did kind of carry over into like the entire weekend. But I'm hoping that now everything is fine. I love you, you love me, we're one big happy family, you know, shit like that. So yes, I'm not going to talk about that. But other than that, we did change out of Bombshell, Harley, and Ivy relatively early because I wasn't feeling well based off that, and you know, just in general, I wasn't really feeling up to it. But we did take pictures before we changed it out, and then we changed back into like regular clothing, like pajamas, and we went downstairs, did a couple shoots. I saw people, you know, walking around, getting pictures outside, and this was the first time I had went outside of the con. Like in the back where like the water was and stuff like that. And it was like beautiful. There were a lot of really beautiful stuff to do photo shoots in, beautiful places, you know what I mean, that I had not seen before. And I was like, wow, because you know, I'd only seen the inside of the con and how packed it was. But as you go further outside, there's spots that are available, you know, like you just, maybe you have to wait until people clear out. But other than that, you know, it's kind of okay. So at the spur of the moment decision, I ran back upstairs, I called Lee, I was like, get over to the room as fast as you can. They come, and I was like, already getting into my big poofy dress for my Junko stuff, and I was like, I want to run down there and take pictures, because what else are we doing with our day? Like, I think what we were going to do at this point, because it was like 5-ish maybe, was we were just going to like order Domino's pizza and stay in the room for the rest of the night. So we got into Junko and Monokuma stuff, fancy Junko and Monokuma stuff, and we ran down, we got a lot of pictures taken of us, we got recognized a lot. I got some pretty good pictures that set, which I was really grateful for, because I was originally only supposed to be Junko with the fancy schmancy stuff Saturday night for the ball, so I would not have gotten any really good pictures, but I did, so that was really good. And yeah, so that ended. We went back up to the room after that. We went to the Gaylord room, we grabbed all of our stuff, and we transferred over to a room in the Residence Inn across the street, because we were staying with new friends. Because we could only stay in the room at the Gaylord Thursday night because they had a lot of packed people in there. So we went to the Residence Inn, and honestly, the Gaylord is beautiful. I agree with you on that. But as far as rooms go, like actual rooms to stay in, the Residence Inn was way better to stay in because there was a kitchen and there was, you know, like, I don't know, just relatively more room to move around. There was complimentary things like breakfast every day and, you know, like coffee machine, which was my personal favorite, and like a stove top and stuff so you can cook. And we did cook Saturday night. We made chicken Alfredo and it was beautiful. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the Residence Inn, especially since it's only a walk across the street. Like literally, like the Gaylord is right here, the Residence Inn is right here, and you just have to walk across the street. It's not like when people say, oh, it's across the street, and then you have to go around and shit like that. That's not how it is. It's literally across the street. Literally. Really, the only thing the Gaylord has on the Residence Inn as far as Katsucon goes is being able to just come straight down. But even then, just go across the street. It's basically like the same kind of trip, I would say. So then Saturday came, and it was Saturday morning, and I wanted to cosplay. I wanted to participate in the whole costume contest because I thought with my big poofy Junko dress, you know, I could possibly win something. So Lee changed into their Arkham Knight Ivy stuff with like the leaves and shit like that. I changed into big poofy Junko. We went across the street back to the con, and we got there, and it was really early. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to be, you know, one of the first ones there to sign up. That way, hopefully I would go on first, and then I'd be able to run back to the room, change into Arkham Knight Harley really quick, and then go back to the con without wasting any time. Waited there until 9, and then someone else showed up. And she was like, oh, how did you make this dress? Did you use like fishnet lining, I think she said? I don't remember. Fishing line, that's what she said, fishnet lining. And I was like, I don't know, because I didn't make the dress, it wasn't me. And she was like, oh, you know, to participate in this, you have to have made it, right? Now, nowhere in the rules did it say that you had to make what you were wearing for the whole costume contest. I don't know anything about the masquerade, I don't know anything about other things, but I know for the whole costume contest, what I was reading, it did not say that anywhere. And I remember specifically looking for it because I didn't want to show up with something that I didn't actually produce myself and be disqualified. She was like, oh yeah, you have to make it yourself and everything. So at first I was debating, like, could we bullshit our way through this? Could we like use what we know was made on the dress? Because we do know what was made on the dress, we just didn't actually put my own hands to it. And then we were just finally like, fuck it, it's not worth it, because then you had to have source material for it. So Junko didn't actually wear the big poofy dress, so I didn't actually have a picture of it. And they were like, oh, you know, that's not exactly what we're going for. So basically, there was a lot of problems with this that they neglect to tell you on the site. They neglect to tell you that you need an exact picture, and they neglect to tell you that everything has to be made from your own hands. And if it's not made from your own hand, then the person who made everything themselves has to be there to sign you up. And even then, they might look down upon you a little bit because you didn't make it. So we went back, wasted all that time for no reason, changed into Arkham Knight Harley stuff. Was a little late getting back to the con. I really wish we hadn't spent that much time basically doing nothing because it was worth nothing. But we did go to the con, had a lot of back-to-back shoots. What I do like about that day, before I changed out of Arkham Knight stuff, is we made it to a DC shoot, and we met a lot of really cool people. Met a lot of really good cosplayers and stuff about their Instagrams and things like that. And then after the DC shoot, we filmed a little tidbit for the fans' POV, which I'm hoping the video will go up soon. That was pretty cool. And then after the fans' POV, we ran back to the hotel and we changed into Big Poofy, Junko, and Monokuma for the ball. I was in the Junko stuff twice that day. The first time was for no reason. We changed and we were like 20 minutes or so late for the ball because we were rushing to change. And we ran, and I usually worn black boots with the Junko dress, but because my feet were killing me from wearing the black boots all day, as Harley too, I did not wear any shoes under the dress. I just wore socks. It was like a bitch to run in because I kept tripping over my own dress and stuff like that because it was so long and poofy. And then we finally got to the bowl, and out of our friend group, we were like the first ones there, I think. And then other people started showing up, and we were hanging out, and they played Rocky Horror Picture Show songs, and that was pretty cool because it was a surprise. As soon as Time Warp came on, they grabbed me because they knew that I love that shit. And I got asked to dance by this random person, and it was so awkward because I don't know how to formally dance. I don't even know how to regularly dance. So I was just kind of following what they were doing, and it was so weird. But other than that, the bowl was like perfection. It was really fun. I had a really good time. And we went back to the room after that. And I know there was a rave after the bowl, but because we were so tired from the bowl, we could not have gone to that, I don't think. We went back to the room, and people were making chicken Alfredo, and we ate that. It was delicious, and we watched The Parent Trap while we ate, which was the perfect way to end such a great night. Then Sunday morning came, and we were originally going to film a CMV all day Sunday. But when we woke up at 6, because we had to wake up really early so we could use the room before we got checked out, we were way too tired to film anything. Like, I'm talking, I could barely keep my eyes open. So we were just like, dude, we'll do it in the future or something. We went back to sleep till like 11, and packed up our stuff and changed into party outfit 707 in Yisan. Took the bags down to the lobby, took them to the car, went back to the con. We filmed a couple of scenes that we needed in the lobby, but we didn't film everything we needed to do because we needed a certain character there that we did not have because we didn't have enough time to change into and stuff like that because they didn't account for checking out so early on Sunday. I wish if we gotten there earlier Thursday, probably could have got some filming done on that day, but we didn't. And so yeah, probably might try to squeeze it into Anime Next or another future con. I don't want to have to wait till next year's Katsucon because that would suck because I'm running out of content already as we speak. But Sunday was pretty okay. We just got in some last minute stuff we wanted to do. Like, we finally got stuff in the dealer's room because we hadn't done anything all weekend. The dealer's room line was crazy on Sunday because everybody wanted to get in there last minute. And we got a Polaroid picture with our buds, Shinra and Bird, and Luke and Kenny, and it was fantastic. And I'm really glad that we got to spend the entire weekend with like a bunch of close friends, especially friends that I hadn't met before, like Shinra and Bird. I was like really excited to meet them going to Katsucon, and we finally did. It was awesome. And the one thing I regret is not being Izaya and Shizuo on Sunday like we originally planned, because Shinra was Shinra, and we would have been the squad up trio. God bless, but we didn't, unfortunately. And then we left the con and we drove home, and the drive home was tiring. We all wanted to just go home to go to bed. But it was a really fun experience overall, and I'm really glad that things worked out by the end of the weekend. If I was with you at some point at Katsucon, or saw you, or even just at Higher Exchange, a smile, or anything like that, just know that you made my first Katsucon experience very amazing, and I can't wait till next year. Thanks so much for watching. If you went to Katsucon at any year, leave your experience below. If you saw me there, leave comments like that below. Anything that you want to share, maybe a con experience that was similar to the hectic one I went through, any opinions at all like that. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and feel free to leave suggestions for next year's Katsucon cosplay lineup, because at this point, we know we want to do Arkham, Harley, and Ivy again maybe, and we may do Toothless and Hiccup, which would be really awesome. Recommendations are greatly appreciated because I usually do plan my lineups like a year early, because that's just how I am. So, anyway guys, peace.